Linda Sargent says she hopes her beloved Uncle Ed has finally found peace after coming out as gay in his obituary.
Oh, I love Uncle Ed.
Yes. Edward Thomas Ryan, an 85-year-old retired volunteer firefighter and veterans advocate from Rensselaer, New York, wrote in his obituary published this week in the Albany Times-Union, quote, "I was gay all my life."
Oh, I'm so sad that he couldn't
85.
live his truth.
"I'm sorry for not having the courage to come out as gay. I was afraid of being ostracized by family, friends, and coworkers. Seeing how people like me were treated, I just could not do it," he wrote.
That's not your fault. You don't have anything to be sorry for. We're sorry.
"Now that my secret is known, I will forever rest in peace."
Oh my God.
Sargent, his niece, who had long known her uncle's secret, was moved by his words. "I was like, you go, Uncle Ed," she said. Ryan was a retired firefighter, a radio station founder, and decorated colonel with the New York Guard, a state volunteer defense force that assists the National Guard in times of emergency. I don't know if it says it in here, but he has like a shitload of medals, bravery, honors. One of which was like in response for the September 11th attacks.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
His family said he also served in Vietnam but never saw combat. He was a member of several charities that helped Vietnam War veterans. Quote, "Colonel Ryan's story is a powerful reminder of the struggles that many LGBTQ plus service members have faced," says Rachel Brannaman, executive director of Modern Military Association of America, a network of 2S LGBTQ plus military members and their families. His courage in sharing his truth, even posthumously, is a testament to the need for continued advocacy and support for LGBTQ plus individuals in all walks of life, including the military. Sargent described her uncle as a, quote, "wonderful man who helped and gave to people. He was also," she said, "a private person who didn't get close to too many people."
Yeah. I mean, he lived in fear like his entire life.
Yeah. A very carefully orchestrated.
If you're already a private person and then you feel like you're carrying this heavy secret, it would be hard to get close to people. I'm glad he was able to tell his niece.
Well, yeah, more people knew, but I'll get to it. She had always had a special relationship with him, she said, helping him with his volunteer work and bringing him to his doctor's appointments. Aww. She said, quote, "He was my uncle. He was my best friend. He's like my father. I was blessed." Ryan never told most of his relatives that he was gay, she said, though it was something of an open secret in the family. But she says he told her more than a decade ago. She said, quote, "I knew he had his obituary ready for years. And then he asked me probably about 15 years ago, should I put down that I'm gay and let the world know so I can be at peace?"
Ugh.
I told my uncle, "You do what you need to do."
Yes, that's a great answer.
In his obituary, Ryan reveals, despite being in the closet, he wasn't alone. He wrote, quote, "I was in a loving and caring relationship with Paul Cavagnaro of North Greenbush. He was the love of my life. We had 25 great years together." Paul died in 1994 from a medical procedure gone wrong. I will be buried next to Paul.
I mean, there's so many elements of feeling like, or in many cases, having for survival to stay closeted. Is like he lost his spouse in 1994 and couldn't like openly grieve that loss.
Yeah.
Like, fully.
Yeah. And they had kind of an arrangement. So Sargent says that she knew about Cavagnaro, but she had never met him. Her uncle would bring women as dates to events, and he always left his partner behind when he visited the family for holidays.
I'm gonna fucking cry. This is awful. That's so sad. But
the couple often appeared at Cavagnaro family events together, according to Paul's nephew, Chris Malloy. Quote, their relationship was understood within our family, even if it wasn't openly discussed, adding that they were a, quote, lovely couple. Malloy described his late uncle as charming and fun and says he worked as a bartender at Albany's only gay bar.
Oh my God.
He said Ryan went by the name Ed with his family and colleagues, the man whose obit we're talking about, but he used the name Tom with Cavagnaro's friends and family. Wow. The couple drove separate vehicles and lived in the countryside so that Ed could maintain appearances.
Wow. Oh, this is so sad.
When Cavagnaro died, Sargent says her uncle was bereft. He never got another soulmate or nothing, she said. He just kind of, kept to himself.
Oh, my heart is broken.
When Ryan first came out to Sargent, she says he expressed concern that he would be judged. Quote, I was like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not God that's judging us for being gay or whatever. It's the country. It's the people in the world. Yeah. She hopes that in death, her uncle has finally found the peace he's been looking for all his life. Ugh, she says, quote, we're all God's children. I just wish that I can see him up in heaven with his friend, sitting down in a paradise having dinner together.
Oh.
Isn't that so cute?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read you the part of his obit just because these are his words and it's not chopped up at all. The family, it seems like the family wrote the majority of it. It lists out all of his medals and accomplishments and military and service stuff, which I found so intriguing because there's all the stuff celebrating his bravery and how he's such a role model and such a leader. And yet he was made to feel like he couldn't shout his true self his entire life.
And then the bravery to, as his last message to the world, to put it all out there.
Okay, so this is that part of his obituary. Edward wanted to share the following. I must tell you one more thing. I was gay all my life, through grade school, through high school, through college, through life. I was in a loving and caring relationship with Paul Cavagnaro of North Greenbush. He was the love of my life. We had 25 great years together. Paul died in 1994 from a medical procedure gone wrong. I'll be buried next to Paul. I'm sorry for not having the courage to come out as gay. I was afraid of being ostracized by family, friends, and coworkers. Seeing how people like me were treated, I just could not do it. Now that my secret is known, I will forever rest in peace.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's a powerful message.
Yeah. I can only imagine, he's 85, like how he was treated or how gay people were treated back in whatever, the 1950s, 1960s.
And in the military.
Yeah.
And upstate New York. I mean, everywhere.
Yeah, and he was a fireman. Like, he was in all of these very stereotypically masculine roles, jobs. Oh, God. I just feel so sad that he didn't feel safe enough to come out all his life. And so grateful that despite that barrier, he was able to fall in love and have a beautiful relationship, even though it's everyone else's fucking loss that they didn't get to know his partner and truly know him and how they were together. That's and I hope that anyone surviving that would have had any fucking bullshit to say about that took this opportunity to evaluate, like, what was it about me that my uncle or my brother or my whoever, my dad, couldn't share his life with me, that he had to bring a fake date to family gatherings with my family because of how he would be treated.
But not with his partner's family.
But not with his partner's family, but that even with his partner's family, probably because of his own fear with backlash in his immediate community, family, work, whatever.
Yeah, he would use a fake name and drive separately and live in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
With his special friend.
With his friend.
Fuck off. I can't.
So this article and this story hits me on a lot of different levels. There's anger, there's sadness, there's hope, there's
love,
disgust,
joy.
there's all that. So I would like to think that Ed would want us to be happy for him.
Yeah.
I think this is a good chance for everyone to reflect on those things you just mentioned. And Pride Month shouldn't just be relegated to June because even though it's June right now as we're recording, Yeah, we got to.
This comes out in July.
We got to support our peeps all the time. So
and shove our gay agenda right down your fucking throats.
Yeah, where all the bees live.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like everyone talks about the gay agenda, but here's a man who is still closeted up until death. Mm-hmm. There's not that much of an agenda if people are still scared. Yeah,
he was keeping all of that locked up inside of him.
Yeah.
Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.